7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bam.
And hey, greetings. I'm New York Pete. I'm the co-host of Interfleet Broadcasting. I'm here with my best friend Chris, also known as the Tipsy Toaster. Let me thank all of you up front for joining us on our news and pop culture sci-fi entertainment channel. And full disclosure, Chris and I grew up watching 70s, 80s TV and movies, cartoons, and we bring our little unique spin to our little corner of the universe here at IFB. And full disclosure, we are big Battlestar Galactica fans, and that's one of the driving forces for IFB. But you know, we love all the sci-fi, all the pop culture stuff, and we just got back from Dragon Con, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So for those of you
that's why I don't have a shirt on, because all mine are in the wash.
Yeah. If man, let me tell you, we had a really good time. We actually screened a world premiere of our trailer for The Stranded Warrior.
Oh, you want to play that now? Okay, hang on.
We are not playing it now. We are playing it on the 17th. However, yes, so the 17th, guys, is going to be our marathon. It's when we start our new season. We'll be in season 4. So today is like I think it's our 52nd episode for this year, season 3, episode 52, I believe. And we want to thank everybody. So don't forget, the 17th, we have confirmed Mr. Eric Larson will be joining us again, and we'll be doing trivia. And so it's going to be great. It's between 6 and 10 o'clock Eastern time when we're doing a marathon. So we're going to have a lot of guests coming on. And for those of you that didn't get a chance to see the trailer at Dragon Con, you can come on, and we're going to play it twice. So not tonight, Chris, but we're going to play it twice.
So play it twice right now?
No, not now. Not now.
Right now?
It was really well received. Everybody had a good time. So we'll be thanking everybody as we go through the show. Of course, you know, everybody that's with us from, you know, George Yakumas-san, thank you for joining us. He's in the house. Eric, of course, Professor Patton, and Rob Baum, and Lola, and Trey, and Lola. James, and Kim, and James is on. Dave is on. Let's see. There's a bunch of you guys on. I'm looking at you now. I think I said Kim, of course. And as you come on, put something on, I'll make sure that we do a shout out for you. Thank you for tuning in. There's going to be a lot of thank yous after our guests. John 1 will be coming on. We're going to do a little bit of an after action report on Dragon Con, and, you know, everything went on. We had a really, really good time. So guys, we are going to, let's do our toast.
I agree with Lola. I have cabin fever now that I'm home. It's like, I gotta go do something. I need to be at a panel. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. We will get into that. We're gonna definitely talk about that. Trey, Battlestar Ahoy, thank you for joining us live. And then I know our friends in Australia and over in Europe, and then in South America and all over the world, as you watch this either now or later on, sometimes in the tens of thousands of you join us. Thank you very much. We have 2 special guests, and they're going to be coming on. They're actually with us. They're in the green room. So without further ado, let's do our toast, Chris.
All right.
Tonight,
well, actually, we should probably go to you first while I read the special beer that we have.
Yeah, of course.
So here we go. There's Pete.
Yes.
We will be doing the Vanna White part of the beer, and I will be doing the reading part of the beer. Tonight's beer is by, Oscar, O-S-K-A-R, Blues Brewery.
Oscar Blues?
Oscar? That doesn't... Oscar. Anyways, but it's called Death by Coconut. Irish-style porter brewed with chocolate and coconuts.
Oh boy.
And this is
Oh,
a
my God.
6.5% alcohol, so Pete will probably be on the floor by the time we get
I
done.
will be drunk.
Yes, so
halfway
canned
through
and
this.
brewed in Longmont, Colorado,
Wow.
Brevard, North Carolina, and Austin, Texas.
Yes.
Do not give to Cylons, it will cross their eyes. Gotcha.
Or eye. It'll
Or
cross
eye.
their eye. Thank you, Superfan Fran, for taking care of us as
Mine
usual.
is the
I am
Midtown Comics tonight.
I'm using the McDonald's.
I love that
the
guy. That guy's cool.
Big Mac Collector Series. I
Yep.
believe this is from 1977. It's vintage. And let's do it.
You ready? One.
1, 2, 3. All right. Boom.
Let's see how dark this is.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully it's as dark as my soul. Ready?
It's really dark, yeah.
Pour it like that, it's
God.
going to be really foamy. It's kind of dark.
Oh, it smells really good.
Yes,
Wow.
as dark as my Cylon soul.
It smells really good, guys. Replying to, let's see. Death by Coconut. Yes, James.
Oh, it's definitely.
Yeah, it's good.
That smells
Mike
really good.
DeBrune. Excellent, Mike. Thanks for joining us.
Can't wait for this one.
Yes, another Gilligan's Island special. That's right. Okay. Wow. This.
All
Look
right.
at it.
So, yeah, we always.
Whew.
It's dark. Yep. That's
Yeah.
Can't see through it. It's as dark as my soul. We're good.
All right.
I am a
County
sucker
Lee,
for a porter.
relax.
So
How
porters
many of
and
those
stouts.
McDonald character glasses were made? I think there were like 5 of them,
Yeah.
Rob, I believe. So
Fry Guys, everything else. Yeah. Ready? All right. So we always welcome everybody onto the show, but we always like to toast to the fans and the people who make the fandom.
Yep.
The artists, the people who come up with fan fiction, and people who come up with all of the great art and everything that kind of creates those universes that we kind of want to live in. It's not always about the actors, and it is definitely about the fans. So, as we always say, fans fuel the fleet.
fuel the fleet.
Here's to you.
Wow.
That's good.
Ooh, yeah. That's that. You could taste the coconut in that, man. Wow, that's great.
Mm.
Oh boy.
I'll have to look
All
for
right.
more of those. Not as
It
good as
has
the French toast beer. That's my favorite still. I haven't found another one
There's a
though.
lot of the dark chocolate aftertaste.
Yes.
Wow, it's really good. Good. Well done. Well done, Tipsy Toaster.
was a
We
good
had a
one.
great time at Dragon Con. Met and made a lot of new contacts, but we met up with some of our colleagues and friends there that we hadn't seen in person.
Ooh.
So we met a bunch of you guys. It was great. I had a really, really good time.
And it wore
let's,
us out.
What?
And it wore us out.
Oh, it sure did. It sure did. But we'll get into that. We'll
Yep.
talk all about Dragon Con.
Yes.
And John One was there with us, so we'll talk all about that. But in the meantime, we have Matt and Chris Cushman, and they are artists extraordinaire. And some of you are probably familiar with their artwork. I know you've seen it out there. They've worked on the biggest, sci-fi franchises that are out there. And we are going to share some of their posters and artwork, and they're the masters of the cutaways. So the ship cutaways and the interior look on them, which is awesome. I mean, just blows you away. There's some of these that I'd never seen before. I saw them now for the first time, and I was like, wow, I want to get one of those. Anyway, so Chris, you wanna use your new expanded repertoire of vMix and bring everybody on at once, or how do you want to play this?
I'll bring them on. If you're ready, stand by.
Yes, yeah, of course. Let's do this. Gentlemen, thank you for
Let me get
taking the
call
time
through.
out. Welcome to Interfleet Broadcasting.
Hang on, let me get
Thanks
call
for
one.
having
Call one. Call one. Where's call one?
we-
There it is. Gotcha. Sorry
You got
about
it?
that. I haven't hooked.
Okay, cool.
With the new layout, I haven't hooked the automatic microphone turn on thing yet.
You've been dying.
So now we're good.
Dying to use it,
Yeah.
and tonight's it. So, gentlemen, bear with us as with the tech catches up with us a little bit. You guys have been in the business for a long time. You're very, very, very talented. Any science fiction fan that sees your work, it appreciates it immediately. I mean, I've seen it before, but tonight I saw a couple of other things I hadn't, and it's a little bit of magic. And Chris, when you get a chance, you'll put those up, Tipsy Toaster.
Yep.
But
When
in
we
the
talk about them.
meantime, gentlemen, welcome, and tell us a little bit about your style and what it is that you do for the fandom.
Which one?
Jump in.
Gotta give him one, Pete.
And either one of you is open to. Whatever you like.
Matt, you go ahead.
Oh, well, I've been doing this for gosh, I want to say 31 years, 30 some years.
Wow.
And Chris has got me beat by an extra 10. And my style, I don't know if what my style is like, although I do like Dave Kimball, and I try to airbrush like he airbrushes. But other than that, I'm just trying to develop my own style at the same time. So that's the best I can say about my style. I do like artistic and dynamic layouts. Kimball was more static, he would focus on an image and not have too much in the background, but I do like background stuff in my cutaways. So
Interesting. Chris, is that also your take on how you prepare these things, or how do you guys differ in your perspectives? I would imagine you do.
Yeah, I would say that we're both kind of started out as students of the Kimball cutaway. There are only a handful of really renowned cutaway artists in the United States, at least. I know there are a bunch of folks in Europe that do some amazing cutaway work, but it's a very specialized art form. It requires not only a good sense of how to draw and perspective and all that, but we also have to have our engineering hats on, right? We're asked to open up these various crafts and show the internal workings. And of course, most of what we draw doesn't really exist. So then we have to work with, people from the various art departments and creative folks who put these shows and movies together, and they send us all the information they possibly can so that we can, show as much of the interior as possible. So, yeah, I mean, I think we've changed our styles in terms of rendering. You have up there the NX01 refit, which is the calendar that's coming up for 2024 for Ships of the Line, which you can get from any bookstore or Simon and Schuster or Amazon. Order it, and it was the latest one that I worked on, anyways.
So how do you guys feel about the fact that you've been involved with two of the major franchises, sci-fi franchises out there? It's like, working with these iconic ships. What is that? How does that play with you? I know that you have a long history of, being involved as admirers of, say, Star Trek. So what's that like?
I'm going to tell a quick story because it has to do with something, kind of Matt did. And I mentioned this before the show started, that we had gone out in '97 to the Pasadena convention, and before we went, Matt, a red Mustang convertible, and we drove through the gates of the Paramount lot, and we're given this amazing tour by, Doug Drexler and John Eves, and got to meet everybody in the Star Trek art department. And I just, to me, that moment encapsulates almost everything about why we do what we do. We're uber fans first and foremost, but I think that our love for the material and our love for the shows is what drives us to do what we do. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, well, of course. Any of this insight that you give us is incredible. How about what's it like? Like where are there restraints in, like the actual, putting together these images, the cutaways themselves? Is it your specific creativity? Is it something that's part of a committee? What do they tell you? Like, oh, I'm going to draw a foot pedal. Well, it may not have been created before, and you guys are showing this cutaway. How does that work? How do you come up with some of the interior image? The imagery of the interiors. How does that play?
Well, when we got a job, let's just use Star Trek as an example. Star Trek has a pretty extensive art department, and they have pretty knowledgeable people working in it, like Mike Akuda, Doug, John, at the time, Herman Zimmerman. We would work with them to get sometimes the view of the ship we need, like the Enterprise E that we did. We built foam models, and then we tried to figure out from the foam models what angle to get. Anyway, at the end of the day, they provide us with a studio photograph of the ship in the angle and the orientation we want. While that's all going on, while that discussion is going on, they're building sets, they're building the models, and we're getting photographs of the models while they're being built. So we got a ton of photographs of the E with primer on it, the Phoenix with primer on it, and then from there, you get these just a load of set photos. A lot were done with fisheye lenses so that you could see an awful lot in one view. Kind of distorts the image, but it puts the whole image in the shot. And then graphic design wise, Mike Akuter, Doug Drexler is also working on an MSD at the same time, and so we get that. The MSD, midsection diagram, for those who don't know what that means, all fans here probably know what that means. Lays out sort of general areas of where things are, and then we get a list. We get some stuff on, documents that say deck 1, deck 2, deck 3, deck 4. Here's what's on each one of those decks. So by the time we can actually kind of start pencil to paper back, I should say back in that day, we kind of were already in a box, so to speak. All the corridors, we had all the reference to the corridors, all the main sets. I know the E had, the engineering set was massive and spectacular, and there was an awful lot they did in the midsection diagram that would give us a hint as to where the deuterium tanks were, where the antimatter tanks were, where certain conduits were. So that made our work congruent with what was going on. We were sort of building things at the same time production was in production. So with the goal that when production was done and the movie came out, that the poster was printed and we could sell it. So So where in there is artistic license? I guess Chris and I have an advantage of kind of knowing what fans expect. There's sort of some, there are rules sort of associated with Star Trek, at least TOS, Next Gen, DS9, Voyager era. They established a lot of, I would say, expectations in terms of canon and continuity. So we made sure we stayed within that because, like your program itself, we upholding fan integrity was a key part in our work. And not surprising anybody. There's a certain expectation that comes with doing this right, and when you get it right, the fans let you know, and they're like, "Oh my God, you thought of that? That's in there." So there is some artistic license because there's a lot of gaps you got to fill, a lot of mechanicals. There's warp engines are kind of have a pretty standard way of working, and so you can put that together. And then you send your work in, and then Mike Akuta fills every square inch of space with red marks, and you get your draft back, and then it's a work for masochists, that's for sure. But that's good, They catch things, and we hone our craft. We hone what we need to do, and at the end of the day, when everyone's working together, a better product gets created. So that's sort of the process, in a nutshell, I guess.
Wow. That's what we appreciate. That's why we like having guests like yourselves here, because we want to hear the back, what's behind the curtain, and we really enjoy that. I just want to bring up the fact that Baz from down under in Australia sends regards to both of you. He loves your work, and Baz, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. We also have another colleague, another streamer, mediocre modeler, and he asks a question. He wants to know, is there a franchise that you would like to cut away that you have not done yet? Either one of you.
Well, let me say this. If Baz is the guy that's building the Viper in his garage,
Yes.
then I love that guy too. So just want to say that that is the most amazing undertaking ever. Who doesn't want a Viper in their garage? For me, actually, and I've sent you a picture in the midst of all those images in there. But one of my current big projects right now is drawing the Battlestar Galactica from the 2004 series. It's a enormous undertaking.
Wow.
It's probably the biggest ship I've ever drawn. Pretty close. I would say it has to be the biggest. It has a lot of mechanicals in there, and ultimately it would be nice to have all the ships from Battlestar Galactica cut away.
Oh yeah.
But I think what people don't get, we don't this what you see online right there was drawn in Illustrator. We don't have 3D models given to us to work from. We draw all this stuff essentially by hand.
Wow.
All of our drawings are done by hand. Now we've got, Adobe Illustrator, which is kind of a sophisticated tool, but it's not like having, some kind of, CAD file or something that we just rotate into position and decide how we're, going to do things with existing line work and material. This is all stuff that every line of it is drawn by hand.
Wow.
But we use
Yeah.
actual reference to do it though. Like so, Chris's Battlestar there is actually based on a view of the actual CGI. I mean, he's
Yep.
not going to draw a line that's not supposed to be there.
Exactly. I do have I have my model. I have my Mobius model. It's not 100% accurate, but it kind of helps me figure a way if I get stuck somewhere, which I often do because the Battlestar Galactica is like a one of those Escher staircases where you can, no matter where you're at, you keep going in a circle. But Doug Drexler, who did a lot of CGI for Battlestar Galactica, I'm trying to think of, there's just so many other artists that he got a hold of that worked on the Galactica over the years, and they just started throwing material at me, knowing what what we're capable of doing, and just I got more. I probably sit on one of the biggest treasure troves of Battlestar Galactica reference material.
Wow.
Just showered with it. Yeah, like stuff that no one has ever seen before. And those guys, they worked a lot of this out, So while it's nothing that I can, rotate into position, it's definitely helps me in drawing all the minutia and all the detail and yeah. So I would kind of like to finish all the Battlestar Galactica ships, at least all the Colonial ships. I'm not, I don't know if I want to do a Cylon ship.
Blasphemy.
Showing troughs of goo that I put my hand in. I don't know if that's something that people need. But
we tried we tried selling the idea of doing a book to I know DK did the Star Wars cutaway books
Right.
back in I don't know what year it would have been, Chris, but 2004 or it seemed like right after the series finished.
Yeah.
And
Right after.
It didn't seem like anybody was. I think I came to Titan with it too, and it's too bad nobody. It was a really. I mean, what would be a cool book is to do a book of both the original Battlestar Galactica and the new one, because they're both.
Oh yeah.
They both have their unique qualities. I love the new Battlestar Galactica. Just was filmed right, good storyline. You could say it was a reboot. Is that safe to say?
Sure. Absolutely.
And
it was reimagined. Yeah.
It's in a safe space when it's done like that too. But anyway, it was really cool, and it's a shame that nobody wanted to. You got to get a publisher involved and some kind of commitment, because these things just take quite a long time to do. I have a graphic design business that I have to make, my day-to-day client money on. So a lot of the cutaways right now that I'm doing are almost a labor of love. And I'm not doing the Illustrator business or the illustrators any good by how much they're going for, but they just take a lot of time. So you need a good commitment to do these.
Of course. It's a shame though, because there is a market for these things.
The
original Battlestar Galactica didn't have enough merchandise, even for that 1 year plus 1980. The fans still wanted merchandise. They still do. They still do well. A book that you described.
Now's the time to do it.
Oh heck yeah, 100%.
Yep. Okay. Well, tell your fans to bang the gong as loud as they possibly can. We're already in the works. So if they can get a publisher interested, contact us. We're open to any ideas. because
That's
you
a
know,
possibility.
That's a possibility. We do know some publishers.
We do know some publishers, so
yeah. Well,
it's possible.
we came up with a book design that had the corners cut off and
Ha!
big fold out, big fold out opening spreads, so that you weren't contained to just the page size of the book. It it it's just to give you an idea. Like like if we did work for Paramount for Star Trek, there's the cost of we don't come at a cost where we haven't come at a cost uh, in terms of creating the art per se, but someone does come along and has to color our work because we spend almost all of our time, at least in the beginning, we spent almost all of our time just drawing, and we're talking like 300-400 hours on
Wow.
just one drawing. And then and when you have a regular day job, that's like every night, all night, you eat, sleep, and drink all this stuff, and then the guy who's licensing it has to pay the licensing fee, which is really high for Paramount. So they get an upfront cut of the money before even a poster is printed, and then they get a cut of each poster, and then you have to go and print, 30 or 50,000 of these things at once. The printer isn't going to sit and wait for his money either. So out the gate, these posters can be $100,000
Wow.
adventures just before
Yeah.
before anything is ever sold. It really requires a lot of effort to get one of these done. I know with Lucasfilm, their royalty, their upfront was smaller, but their royalty was bigger. So the cost to entry was a little bit better. So yeah, these things are tough, in terms of financially securing the amount of money to do the thing. We get paid royalties based upon how many units are sold, and that's kind of where we have always made our money. So we're not getting paid while we're making these things. We don't get paid until that thing's selling like hotcakes.
Wow.
And I know that my first poster, kind of the first poster from either one of us, is the Enterprise D, which you had up there a little while ago. In the Enterprise D, they printed over 250,000 pieces in like 4 or 5 different formats. The first run of the poster was 2 inches wider than David Kimball's Star Trek: The Motion Picture cutaway. So we had to pay extra money just to break the record on who had the biggest Star Trek poster, which is kind of funny in hindsight.
That's incredible.
And so, yeah, so I mean, that poster has sold more copies, and both Matt and I also get to experience the fact that in Germany they love knocking off our work.
Oh no.
What?
Yeah, so they'll take a copy of the poster that you made and printed, and they'll knock it off. They did that with the Enterprise D and the Enterprise E, and you can still buy both of them today online, and they're knockoffs.
Wow.
Right?
What is up with that?
You can't buy one from America though. But I have a friend
Right.
in Germany, and I actually asked him. I said, "Can you buy this for me and mail it to me?" They won't ship to America. They're just for the European market, but which kind of stinks. If they were legitimate, they would probably try to sell around the world. Art license for Paramount was I think, worldwide sales. And Chris kind of worked in the office of the publisher part of the time, so he could tell you what countries we sold in. But Japan, Australia, Europe. So we sold posters to Germany, Great Britain.
Yep.
But yeah, it's
Wow.
all in German too. I mean, all the call outs are German, and and it's kind of, I don't know how they got the image. I'm not sure if they took a scan of
Either
the
they,
poster, but
yeah, the image is so bad
like
because of the,
the engines glow blue on our poster, but you can see where they trimmed around the engines. There's no glowing of the engines because you can see how they photoshopped, cut it out, and then placed it on their. So
Wow.
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I
they
guess it's flattering, but it's sad at the same time.
yeah
Absolutely.
they literally just scanned our poster. So as you know, if you look at a printed piece of material, it's got a dot pattern, like it's different colored dots that make up the color of the poster. So when you scan in a dot pattern and then make another dot pattern for the thing you're about to print again, it's dots on dots. And so everything is kind of really mushy on them, and they're just not very good looking posters. They're not only are they taking from us, but they're doing really crummy. It's just terrible, you
Wow.
know.
And then on the
Unbelievable.
poster,
Yeah.
then on the poster, it says licensed by Paramount, and it's for the Enterprise E, it was licensed Viacom Paramount 1997, which was a year after we started selling ours, and we had our license for longer than 1996.
Yeah, about 10 years, I think.
Several years. But this whole poster business is kind of, it's fun, but it's also kind of a pain in the ass in a way. We started, and we had a good, I would say we had a good decade run. And then Chris was talking about Star Wars licensing. I personally believe that Lucasfilm, by they gave another cutaway license to DK Books just while our posters started to go on sale, and so within less than a year they had their cutaway book out, and it was great. I know the artists that did it; they were just hired. They're great guys, very
Yeah.
nice people. But that kind of killed it for our publisher. We had to, call it an end for that relationship, and I got my graphic design business going, and probably 10 years doing that, and then I kind of started getting back into it, just trying to do it from a different angle. These calendar, calendars kind of came after it, but I redid my Enterprise poster. From my first Enterprise poster was our first project with the new publisher that Chris and I got, and I redid that ship over the course of 4-5 years, and had it ready in time for the 50th anniversary Star Trek, and brought it to the Smithsonian during that anniversary weekend, and then calendar opportunities opened up. I got a commission by an ILM model maker, Bill George, who just the nicest guy in the world and really believed in my work, and he was building the Kellogg shuttle version of the Galileo. So Thomas Kellogg was a car designer, and he actually designed the Avante, a Studebaker Avante. If you look at the Studebaker Avante and the Galileo shuttle, they look alike.
On
They actually have a
purpose.
lot of the same characters, especially the front end of the car matches the shuttle almost. It's scary. And I think it was the Avante that sold Whitfield to have him work on it. And then he built it, of course, in his car shop. But so Bill gave me that project because of my Enterprise redo, and it's just sort of kind of been building up. But again, it's just a really hard business to keep going in when you have other things to do and nobody's, it's hard to get somebody sold on, selling them. So
Yeah.
Gentlemen, going back to a little bit of the licensing, you had said something about like a 10-year, is it a window? And when the license expires, what happens to your artwork? Is it theirs or is it yours? Does it go into limbo? How does that work?
well, Chris can answer this, but my 10-year, there was like a 10-year limbo where we didn't do any cutaway posters. I'm not quite sure, but Chris could answer this, as how long those licenses were meant to last, given predicated on that the publisher was meeting his sales goals. Is that right, Chris?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was 10 years. I think they had up to 10 years, and I do know that it was renewable. But again, one of the things that kind of offset our track on that was, at the end of the 4th season of Enterprise, I'm sure you've heard people talk about, fan fatigue, like Star Trek was suffering from fan fatigue. And so, that wasn't just watching the show. It was also people buying stuff
Yes.
based on the show. And so I really think that our publisher at the time, was feeling that effect as well, right? And posters are great. We're really looking at books more and more often right now. Posters are great, but it's sort of like shipping eggs from where you're at to anywhere in the world and not expecting it to get there all in one piece. They're very fragile things, posters.
Creased.
And and so the cost of shipping and handling, and the people needed to roll posters and tube them, and we had a special deal with the post service so that we would take giant yellow sacks to the post office 2 or 3 times a week, 3,000 and 5,000 posters at a whack. It's crazy. It's a hard business, and if people aren't buying, then you can't really run that business very well. I do know that SCIFI is still selling to some people. They haven't updated their website. A lot of stuff is sold out. But there's still stuff on there, especially Star Wars posters. And it just petered off. It just evaporated, and it would be, I get so many people, like I do postings on Facebook all the time of our stuff, and people are like, their biggest thing is, we need a book of this. We need an entire book of this. I think that people want that DK book,
Oh yeah.
and not just for Star Trek. They want that DK book for Alien. I have a Nostromo started. They want a DK book for 2001.
Yep.
They want a DK book for Battlestar Galactica. Hell, they want a DK book for Lost in Space.
Yes.
People want these books. You know, if DK would just understand that the audience is so large out there and would really buy it up, you know, it would be so satisfying to get our work back out there in a meaningful way. And then, oh, by the way, maybe they have a way where they can print posters on demand, so that, you know, they literally print a poster and send it from wherever it's printed. So each poster is individually printed, you know. So if you want a poster, you can still get one. There's a lot of ground, you know, where our work could come out, and it's just a matter of getting people interested in making it so that, I mean, Matt has a full-time business. I design transit stations for the city of Toronto.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a full-time job, you know. So doing other work comes at a cost of having any kind of personal life. And while I'm single, Matt's got 3 kids and a wife.
Right.
And 2 dogs.
Right.
And a house.
Yes, it's
know,
that balance. Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard.
No,
It's hard.
yeah.
It's hard.
I do think shifting to a book format, however it works out for projects like this, is probably a good idea, because posters are kind of a tricky thing. My large enterprise, which you can kind of see above my head. Perhaps you can show the fans that. But anyway, does it show up? Yeah.
No, go the other direction.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah,
Wow.
that's a small one. At full size
Oh my
Photoshop file, it's 11 feet long.
Oh my
So
God,
I drew
that's
it
so
the
cool.
size of the. I drew it the size of the miniature.
Oh,
So,
love it.
right now, that's I'm gonna that's with a publisher right now, and I just got done doing another commission for a publisher. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say what it is.
Oh,
Okay, but it's
Hold
sci-fi.
But
Hold
it's
on,
coming out.
Let's do this. It's
It's supposed to
another famous show. It's another famous show with a crew of a famous ship that has 3 seasons of TV that they've made, and we're hoping for a 4th. Now you fill in the blank.
Excellent. Outstanding. Way to do that. Very good, Chris.
Anyway,
Starts with an O.
oh, Battlestar Galactica.
No.
All right,
they're,
Tipsy Toaster. The fans know what it is.
That's going to come out as a book and a poster. So, and that was an unbelievable. That was a lot of work. That one. There's not a straight line hardly on that ship. So, but anyway, so yeah, books are definitely, I think, the way to go. But
Your work is incredible. We have some what I would refer to as a little more technical questions. One from John. He wants to know from either of you, how do you set the scale of each ship from, say, an Enterprise to a Klingon bird of prey? How does that work?
oh, windows are magical. I mean, Chris can elaborate on this. I'll just say, first and foremost, you look for windows. For Federation
really?
ships, they're for Federation ships. It's a no-brainer, right? And then you use somewhat of a formula of your minimum deck spacing is at least probably 10 feet to compensate for conduit and things like that. So you can kind of ballpark it just on that, but I've heard that some ships have a 14-foot deck spacing, and and if you got a good side view of a ship, you can use that deck spacing and the amount of decks, and you can probably ballpark it. For certain Star Trek ships like my Enterprise, I'm a diehard purist, so if Matt Jeffries says it's 947 feet long, it's 947 feet long, not any longer, not any shorter. But if you look at fan art of the Enterprise, they always make it 1,500 feet long because it really helps them fit everything they want to fit in, because it is a tight ship in certain areas. So, but it also works beautifully as a 947-foot ship. So I don't know if Chris has some thoughts on scale, but
well, I mean, there isn't any ship of the imagination that hasn't suffered from what I like to call Jupiter 2 syndrome. The Jupiter 2 simply does not fit inside the physical model of the Jupiter 2. It just simply does not fit in there. They didn't care about stuff like that back then, so they never made any accommodation for it. But I've drawn a cutaway of the Jupiter 2 from Lost in Space, and one of my instructors from university said to pick an angle in which you can tell the whole story whether it fits or not. And another maxim that he had was, if it looks right, it is right. So I mean, we're storytellers. A lot of our work is storytelling. We're trying to tell the story of this entire thing, and we pick and choose things that we need to show. I mean, you can't show the Enterprise without showing 10 forward, or the bridge, or the transporter rooms. But you can get away with, not showing other things simply because it may not have ever been seen on television. Like, everybody asks me, because I am reworking the Enterprise D to the condition it was in for generations. I finished that Enterprise D poster sometime around season 3 or season 4 of Next Generation. So, there was still 3 or 4 more seasons after that, where they added rooms and stuff, so I'm actually updating it and using like Rick Sternbach's blueprints and, images from the episodes of these, to add these different rooms. But invariably someone always says to me, okay, but are you going to add citation ops to the ship, right? And it's like, yeah, I mean, there was an episode where they showed a door that said citation ops, and yeah, the blueprints do show that, the Enterprise uses citations to help do navigational problems, because, whales just have a thing for that, and they have bigger brains. But no, I didn't show it on my original cutaway because we never saw it. So you pick and you choose. I sent you a copy of the Defiant, which was this year's calendar. And one of the things that people asked for said, well, where is the turbo shaft? Where's the turbo lift? Okay, as if a 4-deck ship really needs a turbo lift. It was in like 3 episodes, and you only saw the interior, and it does run through the ship, but it was only in 3 episodes. So no, I didn't show it in my cutaway. You know what I'm saying? So it's a picking and a choosing of what you want to show, and yeah, so that's my answer for that.
So, gentlemen, how much of your work is still? You'd mentioned that there is one publisher, I think, that still sells some of your work. Is any of your past things still available that we could look for?
eBay still sells Enterprise Ds on a regular basis. I see them all the time. They do sell the other posters, although nothing sold more than the Enterprise D in terms of quantity. So I think that's why, and I do think that when that company went out of business, they sold off massive amounts of unsold stock. And I think that, there's some companies out there that have a lot of Enterprise Ds they're sitting on, and they're just, parsing them out via eBay.
Yeah, you might
Yeah,
find
I mean,
you might find an E on eBay, but the E's have sold out.
yeah,
But
it's kind of tough. It depends on, you can buy old copies of the calendar. I know that I saw that Amazon sells previous year calendars for the Ships of the Line calendar that we've been, I don't know, 5 years running. We've been the centerfold. They put us in the centerfold so that people can, open up the staples and pull our cutaways out whole.
Right.
So
unobstructed.
Centerfolds.
Yeah, unobstructed. Yeah, centerfolds. And so, you can still get a lot of those. The other thing that people do, and I get why they ask me, because I post a lot of our work online, but invariably I get 2 or 3 people who say, "Can you send me the high resolution file?"
Sure. Yeah, I want to put myself out of business. Yes.
Yeah. I find it really hard to say, well, you're asking for the keys to the kingdom here. No, I can't. I try to put something as high res as you possibly can on, and I wish that I could give people more, but it's hard. It's really hard, and I feel really bad, because if I were them and I was asking the guy that drew the damn thing, I'd be like, "Can you send me the high res version of it?" Because I know people want this stuff, and it's just, how do you get it to them in a way that, you don't sell the farm and all that went to it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Just as an aside, Baz says, "Cutaway the Mark II. Your Battlestar cutaway is spectacular. If you do a Viper, check out the intake at the top nacelle that I have done. It is now canon." So thanks for that, Baz.
And I follow Bez on Facebook with a fascination. So trust me, I'll give it a look.
Cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
That guy has a lot of gumption. I mean, when he first started, I was kind of like, where's this going? But man alive, does it look great.
Oh, it sure does. Absolutely. So, gentlemen, we definitely would like to have you come back for the release of some of your upcoming, right? Some of the things that hopefully we're not allowed to talk about yet, but I believe that they will come.
I saw a picture of a quantum core in that Facebook site there. I teased a little.
Hint, hint. Well, we would like to have you both come back, and then we can plug your new work and talk about it just like we did here with the past stuff, and we'll have some current stuff, and who knows, stranger things have happened, gentlemen. We've come in contact with a couple of publishers that always seem interested and open. They're on a smaller scale, but you never know. We'll definitely make a contact, throw them your way, and And who knows? I mean, there's a market for this. People, the fans do want all the things that you're into. You're very talented. We love what we see, and we hope to see more of it, gentlemen. The legit stuff, not the knockoff, the legit. So thank you very, very much for taking the time out, Chris.
Yeah, fans should also follow the amazing folks over at Otoy, who are managing the Roddenberry archive. I don't know if you've seen some of their stuff online. They've been doing a lot of like film work. They even brought Mr. Spock back to life, like literally back to life on screen.
Wow.
So yeah, Otoy, they're responsible for the Roddenberry archive and doing amazing work.
Matt? All right. So, gentlemen, again, thank you so much. You're on Facebook, so guys, check them out on their social media. They're like they said, they hint and post stuff up. So again, thank you very, very much for taking the time out. We really appreciate sharing your insights and the behind the scenes, behind the curtain, so to speak, of what goes on in your business. So all the best, and please come back, Chris, Matt. Again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. A toast. So this is to you guys. Continued success.
Yep. Keep building the fandom. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just incredible. Their work is really, really cool. Hopefully, who knows, right? I mean, a cutaway book of the old and the new Battlestar, that would be incredible.
I was just looking at get back to it.
So let's see.
Right. Hang on.
There's a lot to discuss, a lot to take in. I mean, their artwork is so detailed, so incredible. We were looking at some of those images that you put up, Chris, were really tremendous. Always loved that stuff growing up. Always loved any type of behind the scene or a cutaway like that. It's a lot of talent that goes into that. So, and these gentlemen are very talented, and they're fans. And they're out there and they're involved. They know who Baz is, and yeah, this is just so cool, so cool. Love this stuff. So with that said, we look forward to having them back.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. So Chris, bottom line is we spent you stayed at Dragon Con longer than I did. I left on that Monday, and it was.
I left on Monday too, but I drove
a little later than I did. And you had you drove. So, but we were there from pretty much from beginning to end.
Wednesday night for me.
You were there Wednesday
Thursday
night.
For
yeah,
you.
I came out Thursday, and we met up with a lot of our supporters, and
shocked.
It was really, really cool. So first of all, let's thank Dragon Con and the military sci-fi track for having us at, and they gave us press passes. Yep. So we were
which gave us the ability to get into the press area for the parade as well. So we actually got to walk in the parade. So if you get a chance, you can check that out on our channel, where we actually walked the parade and we did a running commentary of the entire parade.
Yes, and they were very good to us about that. I wanted to just thank everybody that supported us with everything from being there, moral support. I mean, it just in general, in no particular order. Tricky Faye and Kyle, Rob Baum helped us out with the trivia contest that we hosted, and we hosted that. Basically, it was IFB TSW exclusive, and thank you, Rob, for setting up our trivia questions. We did have to just mildly edit, tinker with them just a little bit. We didn't want to stump everybody. We wanted them to think and then have to choose But thank you very, very much for doing that for us. Really appreciate it. Everybody had a lot of fun with that. And of course, John One, that was there with us, he was working the convention. So he was enjoying taking it in as a first timer like myself, but he was also working it at the same time. And it was great. So there's, John with Teddy Roosevelt, which is, this is kind of funny. And we really had a good time with that. And then, of course, we met up with Fran, superfan Fran Severn, who was one of our panelists, and then Lola, Charlene, and Paul, and of course Professor Eric Padden, Diana Durango, who co-starred in the Stranded Warrior, and she was there with us on panel. She brought her mom along as well. Eric Engler, Serge, Dave Turnbull, and Dave Fritz, the CG team, right? Our CG team that ultimately made the trailer look as good as it does, and it will ultimately make our movie look as good as it is. So Chuck Davenport and Chris Marshall and Ken Thompson and John Terabetsky, thank you, gentlemen, for all of your support and your input and everything that you do to help the actual Stranded Warrior be as best as it can. And then, of course, Dorian Keyes, award-winning sci-fi author who is actually musically talented, that put together the score for the trailer and continues to work on the Stranded Warriors soundtrack. He's doing that, and it's phenomenal. And Stephen McCoy, who actually won the trivia contest. Thank you for participating. Zach Jordan and Kristen, the photographer, that took the traditional Sunday 10 a.m. Picture of the Battlestar Galactica groups, both the classic and the reimagined, at Dragon Con. Thank you for going out of your way and doing that. And those pictures, I think, will be up or
Hopefully,
will be
soon.
up. And it was phenomenal to see everybody dressed. Of course, there is a very strong presence for the reimagined, the 2004 Galactica, but this year we had a very, very strong presence. We had Cylons, and we had, of course, Paul Rodder's Commander Kane, who's spot on. Eric Engler doing his Commander Adama. We had Count Ibley, and then we had Colonial Warriors, and it was just incredible. So our fellow podcasters, Nair and Kavura, that actually had their own panel and invited us to open. Right, they did their welcome, and then they immediately handed over their panel to us.
Yeah, it was great.
And it was awesome. Great. So, as colleagues, right, we actually had been on their podcast, doing the Starlog podcast that they do.
Star Pod
Log. Yeah. And so it's on our website. We have a link. Yeah. And so we reviewed an article from Starlog, one of the Starlog magazines, and then Chris and I recorded it, and then they put it up and do a whole commentary on the magazine, the issue that they're covering for Starlog. They were there. They were part of the parade. And thank you, guys. They are going to be coming to our show. And Starpod Log. But they also marched as Starpod Trek during the actual parade that we covered. So, guys, thank you very, very much for the kindness of giving us the floor so we could promote not only IFB but the Stranded Warrior. Really cool people. Really appreciate that. They'll be coming on our show, so look for that. And all you guys, everybody that came out, and we had a really good time. So we met most of you for the first time. We'd never met face to face, right, Chris? We met, like everybody other than, Fran, of course, John One, which we know, but the rest of you guys, we met you up front, and we had such a good time hanging out, and just, it's incredible, right? It's 5 5 hotels and 2 buildings that one hosts all the vendors in the artist alley, and the other one is for gaming. I didn't get a chance to go to the gaming, but John one did. So John will be coming on in a little bit, and then he's going to give you, some of his take on what it was like to be there. We did some of the cosplay stuff, and it goes on 24 hours, and it's incredible. The amount of panels and the tracks are just crazy. We gave out ribbons, right? So IFB ribbons, and we had this particular card made for Dragon Con. So IFP on one side, and we had the Stranded Warrior on the other. So we gave this out with we had our very own ribbon, right? And that's this one here, right? So
Turn it. There
there you go. So we have this one that we gave out. We gave out a couple of hundred easy. So there's only Tipsy. We only have, I'd say, maybe, I don't know, 20 of these left.
Yeah.
Out of like 150. So we actually handed these out. So thank you for all of you that are joining us for the first time. I know that we've increased our numbers both here on IFB and on the Stranded Warrior.
Yep.
Yeah. This is my collection of ribbons that I got. And
I don't have mine with me. Hang on.
yeah, I kept my my ID because somebody reused this, and I didn't want to rip it all up. I was a purist in the sense, and so this is what it looks like with all the few ribbons that I got. I know John and Michaela and maybe even you, Tipsy, got more than I did, but those are really cool. That's a lot of fun. We also debuted these cards, right? So this one is number 11, and this is, of course, Fran, who is Lieutenant Epona. And on the back of the cards, they have a little background story on each one of the actual characters because they're named. This is now number 12, and this is Lieutenant Aquila, Dave Turnbull. Thank you very much. Those, of course, were autographed. I have my own card, and I am Lieutenant Panos. And again, on the back of it has a little bit of a little write-up on the background for these characters. We don't have any lines, but we appear as background colonial warriors. And number 14 is none other than our very own Dorian Keyes, our sci-fi award-winning author, and he is named Lieutenant Orion. And the last one of our full set is number 15, and this is, of course, the Cylon Centurion, who is played by Jonathan Giacomis, and it was on the spot, right?
Why was why is that the last one? I mean, really?
Yeah. Well, the truth of the matter is, some might say that, the best for last. I thought it'd be kind of cool to, and just wrap up the series with, the movie posters.
No,
the first one.
You hate Cylon, so you put it back the last. I know that's what it really is.
I thought it was cool, but anyway. So these are the additional cards, right? So these are the additional 5 that we made specifically for Dragon Con. So for those of you that didn't get these, we have some. We will be making sure we hold on to those so that you guys can get those.
I think we lost John, by the way. I can't see him.
Did we? So John, you got to come back. Let me see. What do we have here?
It's like a big thumbprint or a big fingerprint in front of the camera is all I can see. If you're out there, John, move your finger.
Yes, buying my tickets tomorrow. Fran's getting ready for next year.
I saw it move.
Checking into hotels.
There he is.
Oh, okay, John, you're back. Perfect.
He's there.
Right, cool.
We'll get him set up now.
All right, good. Well, you know what? Here, I wanted to talk about some of the items that there's like little scavenger hunts that go on throughout Dragon Con, and I only found a couple of items. This one was found. I was in the vicinity But Tricky Faye, she's like, hey, check that out. And so congratulations, you found swag. And they're, hidden around in little corners. And this one is Fortune Teller Fish. Place fish in palm of the hand, and its movements will indicate, typically it's motionless, and it means dead one. So I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah. And so that's the kind of stuff that if you're looking around, you'll find. Let's see, I have another cool one. Here's this one. This one also is courtesy of Tricky Faye. This is congratulations, right? You found swag. It's yours to keep. And this is a one of the Mandalorians, and this is actually a card by one of the cosplayers, and he's Tracker Clan Michigan that were at the convention. So that's a little piece, another one of these. And then there's, let's see, there's Dragon Con Sci-Fi. This is from the military sci-fi track. And Pop Socks. Got that. And there were some stickers. I got some really cool stickers. These I found. I found this one. And it's Trinkin' Bros Nerds, which is perfectly up Tipsy Toaster's alley. And then I got this is so cool. Look at that, guys. Huh? Swag and Seek. Battlestar, BSG, Warrior cosplay. So, yeah, very cool. And then I also found this. This is one of the items that little plastic turtle. Turtle. Yeah. So there's these things and ducks and things that you can find laying around. Whenever I found something, I would always leave one of our ribbons. So we got a lot of stuff. We did a lot of promoting of Dragon at Dragon Con of the Stranded Warrior and IFB, and I think we got a lot of new subscribers and fans and the like. These are two cards that Nair and Kavura were giving out. One was during the parade, right? This one was the parade, and this one was at the panel. So if you went to those, you'd get these. So that was kind of cool. And like I said, they are really, really cool, really, really nice people and good colleagues. And we look forward to having them on our show. And is John on?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Hey, John.
Hey, guys. How are you guys?
Hey, what's up, man? Good. So, what? Looking back now, it's been a couple of days since we got back from Dragon Con. What do you? Give me your thoughts on Dragon Con.
I was blown away. I thought it was really cool. I mean, I was you do any pound you want, from like raising chickens to reading about alternate history. You know?
Yes.
So
yes, that's right.
You can walk in panels, see a lot of stuff. People were pretty cool. I mean, late night puppet shows were. I'll still wrap my head around that. Late night puppet show.
You lived that one down yet at work?
Yeah. Oh. But alcohol did help. I got a nice big bucket of a rum punch and
rum punch. Yeah, the buckets. They wheel the carts out and like, hey.
Yep.
It's like, wow. I was definitely running around there late at night. So you guys turned in. I was doing the conga line with the dinosaurs.
Excellent. Oh yeah, there was a lot of.
I definitely want to go back again. So
you going back?
Yeah, I'm going back. I showed my wife, and she's an educator, and she saw a lot of robotics and a lot of the robotic master
STEM
panel. So she might want to take that, see if she can get that for work. So
there you go, because they do have robot battles. So
that's right up her alley.
Yep, they have robot battles where they build the robots and then they go in there and then the people compete on a stage right there and they beat the snot out of each other. It's great.
So guys, now that you're here with us, John, during the panel, the first panel that we did. So look, Fran Severin had her panel. That was earlier on Friday. It was like around 2:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 5:30, we had the Stranded Warrior panel. And you were there for it. And you were working stuff. You were in charge of the swag. You were helping out with all the production issues, and there was plenty going on. And you were doing all that. So I want to thank you on air, John,
my
for
pleasure.
just doing everything that you do, man. It's people like you that make the difference. However, I also wanted to touch a little bit on, like you were able to see, you were watching the reaction of, I think, the fans and everybody that was,
Yes.
at the panel, watching then the trailer, right? So on the panel, Diana Durango was on, and she had her perspective, and Fran, myself, and Chris and Professor Patton, and so you were there, kind of like watching everybody. I was trying to watch everybody at the same time, watching the trailer. So what was your impression, John? What did you think?
People were very impressed. They're looking forward to it. They're like, they watched it, like, okay, let's see the film movie, and then afterwards, they're like, wow, and they were looking at each other, like, shaking their heads, like up and down, like, well, they want to see that. So it was very good.
Oh
So
yeah.
I took a picture of you and Chris watching it when it first was on the screen, and
Yep.
I tried to get some pictures of that, and then the second one, the trivia, when we showed it again, that was a big
Yeah. Yeah.
thrill
Big
from the
crowd.
from the fans,
Yeah.
because they were like, wow,
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
like, ooh, even like the new Vision ones and everyone else, they're like, oh boy, and that lady came up, and that she was very happy about it too. So even though she was
Yes.
the revised one, which was pretty funny, but
Oh yeah.
everyone seemed to enjoy it, and it was fun to be a part of that. I really enjoyed that. I get the cards out. I was putting the ribbons out, and people were talking and I was trying to bring some people in. I think I brought that lady in, and it was a good time. I really had a good time. So
It was
definitely
great. It
it was
it
definitely a moment
stands.
to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's that's where a convention is the opportunity for
Yep.
like-minded fans to get together, and it's always friendly. Chris, you've said that your observations are that as much as people are enjoying alcohol, you've never observed, like we were there, we didn't see
Mm-mm.
brawls. We didn't see
Yeah.
people hurting each other. There wasn't.
Oh no.
There was.
No
There wasn't any of that.
degrading, no,
No. No.
lewd,
No.
well, never mind.
I mean,
After 9 o'clock, it does become a little
it gets adult,
R rated.
Yeah, it
I
gets
wouldn't
R.
say X, but it becomes a little R
No.
rated.
but it's still
I just had
within. Right, John knows, because John, you
Yeah.
were out
Right.
late.
I mean, yeah, it was no problems like that. I mean, I had to step over the after effects of having a good time a couple of times, but it was all in all, everyone got along, had fun. There was less. I mean, it was all night. They were like talking together, and people were in line talking.
Parties, concerts.
It was really party. Yep.
Crux Shadows
Concerts.
was there.
Oh yeah.
You go upstairs
Um,
in the hotel. You can check out another one. You
so-
go out to the pool to see the cosplay girls walking around.
Yep.
You can go to the burlesque show.
Oh,
that
that
was later
yeah.
night. Yeah.
There's all of
Panels.
that.
Yep.
Yeah. Thursday we got together at the beer garden,
Mhm.
and then on what was it? Sunday, I think it was Sunday. We went out. We had another small group of us went out to eat again. So it's just so big, guys. So for any of you that have been to other conventions, and John, you've been to other conventions where it's static in one place, right? It's basically one big building, or it could be a smaller building, but it's like in one place, one hotel, or the Jacob Javits, and that's it. It's all basically there for the most part. I know Jacob Javits now has that other building that they do some of the bigger panels in, but that's
Oh, wow.
still it. But and then in New York Comic Con, they also will do things by the Garden, Madison Square Garden. They do a little bit, but that's nothing compared to the vastness of Dragon Con. And then the lines, you're waiting online. One day we waited an hour and a half. I was there with Professor Patton and Paul, and we just got off because it was like we just that's it. We're not going to wait here. It'll take us 3 hours to get in. But
Yeah, I remember
but
that.
then Sunday,
I jumped off too.
yeah.
Then we
And
turned Sunday, and 30
Yeah.
minutes you were inside.
Yeah, you were online. You waited there, and luckily you did. And again, to all the fans, thank you so much for just being cool. Because you were online, and then we showed up, and there were like 4 or 5 of us, and we just came on the line with you, and everybody was just cool. I mean, everybody, we all got in. It wasn't like it was moving really quickly on Sunday, so that's how we got to see the vendors. It's tremendous, guys. It's really, really big. It's nothing like, if you haven't been to Dragon Con, like you and I hadn't been, it's hard to describe because last year, John, you and I went to New York Comic Con, and I mean, like it's a lot, and it's it's big and stuff, but it's not Dragon Con big.
I think Dragon Con is the only one that has that type of setup, right? I mean, is there any setups like that? Just
I think it
Dragon
is.
Con, right?
I'm not sure how
Wow.
spread out San Diego is,
Ooh.
but I've been like the only other convention, like big convention that I have not experienced is San Diego. So I've been to all the other ones. I know Emerald City is not, it's nowhere near, New York
big.
or so we'd have to all get out to San Diego, John, and just see what that's about. But I don't think it's going to be the same. I think Dragon Con's
Con
unique. Yeah.
It's all that and more. It's just like, wow, you want to play an RPG game? You sign up for an RPG game. You want to go to another building and play some role playing games, which I did. It was fun. I mean, you want to set up some panels.
You want to go
get
VR? You want to go into VR and do the bridge of the
Yeah,
Artemis?
I saw that. The Artemis.
Yeah,
that was pretty
Artemis
cool.
Bridge.
Artemis, that's right. Yeah.
and compete. Have fun with 4 other people in the same VR system and act like they're in this. And you can see it's amazing. That kind of
That
thing.
was pretty cool. I sat in on that. That was pretty neat.
And all of the trivia contests and the information and how to be a writer and how to be a voice actor and how to be all of that stuff. And then if you really want to chill out, you can go do Tai Chi with Aaron Gray from
Buck Rogers.
Buck Rogers. So
yeah,
she does a Tai Chi thing every year. So
and then we did the auction too. Chris, we should talk a little bit about the auction. However, so Mike, I think we answered your question. We did do the dinner in 2 parts. It was dinner at Dragon Con can be very challenging. Put it to you that way.
Oh, can't even find a place to sit half the time.
Yeah, you can't find a place.
Yeah.
The best dinner that we did have. No, lunch. We had lunch, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Your recommendation was I think it's called Gus's.
Yeah, Gus's fried chicken.
Yeah, that was the
yummy.
best lunch that we had. It was on the fly. We walked by the store and then we decided to just go in. The rest of the time it's just like burgers.
Best coconut
fast
pie.
food.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's talk about Chris. John, let's do your presentation, John. Let's look at what you got, because I want to then wrap up with a little bit more on what's going to happen on the 17th. So why don't you take it away?
And one more thing about Dragon Con, you can even go meet people. Sit on there was Sid Croft was there, and numerous, like, I lost count of how many stars and celebrities were there you can meet and talk with. It was a whole book full of them. So that was pretty cool. So, okay. Well, The Walking Dead keeps coming. Daryl Dixon will be in his own spin-off series of The Walking Dead. He somehow gets to France, and he wakes up and he's trying to find out how he gets over there. So hopefully the zombies won't be rude to him. So we'll see.
It's the French zombies. They may be a little weird.
Oh boy!
And they only eat French fried brains.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
I never seen a zombie put the nose up. Oh, American.
Yeah.
I'm not eating that brain.
You know who's ruder? Let me tell you who's ruder. New York City. New Yorkers are ruder than anybody in France. Trust me.
That comes from New York Pete. Any of those people from New York, that's New York Pete who did that. He is from New York. He can do that. The rest of us can't.
That is correct. So you better stop using that accent, Tipsy Toaster.
What accent you talking about? Hey.
Okay, politically incorrect.
Rude New Yorkers.
You're
They'll give you the
canceled.
best foul language lesson you ever heard.
That's right. Tipsy Toaster, you're canceled.
Yes. That and all the horns are wired to the brakes. So
Daryl Dixon will be on this Sunday on 10 p.m. on AMC. And a new American Horror series starts on September 20th with, I think, Lady Gaga and Kim Kardashian.
what? Seriously?
Yep.
No way.
Yep.
April Fool's joke, isn't it?
Nah,
Oh,
it's
come
like
on.
the season
No,
9
I
of it.
saw the
It's
ads.
called Delicate. Yeah.
Oh wow.
The ads
It's
are
some
up
kind of delicate,
all
so it's
over.
really weird.
Yeah, it's just so bizarre.
So I think Eric Roberts' daughter is in it too. She's pretty good. She's been in a couple other series.
Oh my god.
So it looks pretty weird. So I'll watch it. Let's see. And season 4 Lower Deck starts today on Paramount. That
Today.
should be pretty good.
Don't
And
leave.
as it's the
Stay with us first.
Yep.
You can watch it later
Lower
afterwards.
Deck's no, yeah, I'll watch it later on. So I got to catch up on Ahsoka too. And as it's the 50th anniversary of Star Trek animation, sign on to YouTube's official site, Trek page, and watch short Treks. It's a new animated promotional spots in the style of the original animated series. You know, with numerous cast members voicing. So you'll have some skits, some ditties. So that starts on September 8th. So check out on
Ooh.
YouTube the official
Excellent.
Trek, and check out Star Trek Short Treks. Looks pretty
Nice.
cool. And let's see. So seeming as on September 1st, Amazon just released The Wheel of Time Season 2.
Waste of
Yes.
time, season 2.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
I
I
liked
just-
it.
I just haven't gotten around to see it yet.
It's a waste of time.
Thank you. I'm here
No,
a
it's
week.
I like it.
It's you just go on and on and on. And if you can't get enough of that, Dynamite Comics announced it will be publishing Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time in a comic book form. And the first one will be Great Hunt #1, which will be coming out in November 2023. Also, check out DC's Birds of Prey #1, which will be pretty good. That's with Harley Quinn, a lot of the female DC villains, and they fight crime. That should be out this September 5th. And now the next upcoming series coming out on Hulu. I think it's a movie now. It's called, has the introvert in me scared. It's called No One Will Save You. Check out the trailer, but it's about an exiled anxiety-ridden person who's stuck in a
Next
house.
slide, please.
Oh, we have that one.
I want to show that slide.
Or you'll have to wait because he's not talking about it.
Yes,
Yep.
he is.
Oh, he's
Oh,
not.
what am I talking about? I
The-
forgot what I'm
the-
talking
All right,
about.
Pete, fine.
No one-
Here you go, Pete.
Movie.
This is
No
the
one will
slide. This
save
is
you.
not the slide he's talking about.
No, there's another slide missing.
No, there isn't, Pete. There is no other slide.
Oh,
You screwed up. So just sit back down, relax. Yo, go park the car somewhere and relax.
So it's about a anxiety-ridden a homebody who has an alien break in her house and try to kill her. So she can be
Sounds like a New York
dressed up as an
story.
alien,
oh yes.
or and watch the series. It's like home invasions, but this one's different. And some alien breaks into the lady's house. okay.
Oh.
I guess that sounds good. So, and the trailer for Hulu's creepy alien Romulus is out. Check that out. I think the alien's a little different this one, but that's coming out by next spring. It should be ready. So check it out on YouTube, and you'll that should be it. And Comic-Con is next month. New York Comic-Con is October 13th, 14th, I think.
Oh, I know. It's coming up
Yes.
so fast.
Are you
And that's just the
going to be
Comic-Con?
there?
Oh, I'm gonna be there.
Excellent.
Yep, I'll be there.
Excellent. All right, so we are going to also be at New York Comic Con, and here's a great picture of us hanging. I don't remember what day that was, but
We were eating Chick-fil-A.
yeah, so that was probably Saturday.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably Saturday. Yeah, Saturday, because Sunday they had sold out completely. They had no more sandwiches to serve or sell. So, yeah. so yeah, we had a real good time, and Dragon Con was very good to us. Hopefully, we'll have some more pictures to post. I have a whole bunch of other
Yeah, we got
pictures.
videos put up. We interviewed
Claudia
somebody?
Christian.
Claudia Christian.
Yes.
So-
So we want to let's thank Mr. Macaulay for helping us out with
Yes.
that. He made that a possibility. So thank you very much for doing that. And then we'll have that up.
Cool guy, very nice man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very cool. So that was one thing that there was very few, if any, interviews set up or authorized by Dragon Con. So
Yeah,
it was
zero
not-
almost. So.
yeah. Now our request, the red carpet that we had requested, they said nobody got any interviews.
Yeah,
on
the
the red carpet.
SAG-AFTRA
Yeah.
actors strike is
Yeah.
was
They said no.
was a big
Yeah.
negative on that. Year before
Yeah.
that, it was COVID. This year, it was the actor strike.
Yep.
Hopefully,
that
next
was,
year we get to get on the red carpet and talk to more people. But we had a
Yeah.
great time with Claudia. What a great person, and we got to talk about her books and her philanthropy in regards to some of her
Oh yeah.
what is it alcoholism type things.
Yes.
So it was
Yes. Recovery.
recovery. What a fantastic person to talk to. We had a really good time with her.
Yes, she was very, very nice. So that'll go up, Chris, when you get a chance. I mean,
Yep.
the idea is that we are now going into our next phase. We sent out in terms of there's two things. One is I'd mentioned earlier we're going into our next season coming up soon.
Yep, very soon.
And then we also moving into next phase of the Stranded Warrior, right? So we have we've sent out an email to everybody that supported, and so we're putting together that final list. So we want to make sure that in the thank you credits, everybody's name is spelled the way they want. So that's almost ironed out. We got like 95% return on those emails. So we got to catch like maybe another 3 or 4 people, make sure we get those done. And then we're going to get to the next stage, and that's to start sending things out, right? Autographs, pictures, and the like of various articles that were part of the perk. That's going to go on behind the scenes or the back burner. So we're working that. However, we're going to start the editing process. So Tipsy Toaster Chris is actually spearheading now the editing. He's taken on that responsibility on top of everything else. Mm-hmm. So as soon as our audio engineer gets us the audio,
and he said it probably this upcoming week will be done.
Okay, so
Which
then
is amazing because that audio needed to be cleaned up. So
and so we have. Do you want to mention his name? He's a professional.
Carrick Ford. He runs. I'll have to get the. We'll put it out. Actually, we probably should have him on the show. It'd be kind of interesting.
We should. Yeah, it'd be great now that he did it. We can comment on what it was like.
Right.
So, he's worked on professional pop singers that are very, very well known. We got to make sure that we can actually say the name of
I don't want to.
The one that he's worked on. Everybody knows who it is. Just everybody does. And so he stepped up and volunteered. He's working on our audio. So Chris is going to take the audio track and match it to now all of the shots that we have, and then we start the actual editing process.
Step by step. We got to get the audio fixed first, then we got to set the audio to the main tracks, and then you can start taking the main tracks and editing pieces out of that, and then we'll take pieces out of the main track after we get done with that, and then those clips we'll send to our special effects people, and they will pull in the backgrounds, and the green screen stuff will be pulled out, and they'll put in the backgrounds like the Vipers and stuff like that. So they've done an amazing job in the trailer.
Davenport and Chris Marshall.
Come see us on the 17th and watch that trailer.
Yes. So that's the next
great,
thing. Oh man.
Yeah, you want me to show it now? Let me hang on.
Not happening. No. So the 17th, everyone. The 17th, Mr. Eric Larson is coming on board. He confirmed, so he will be on. And we're going to have a lineup. We're going to be sending out formal invitations. Mediocre Modeler, Kelvin will be joining us as he often does. He will be on the show as well. Professor Eric Patton is going to be on the show with us. Superfan Fran Severn will be on the show with us. Tara and John One, of course. We're going to extend an invitation for Nir and Vakura to come on. And Mr. George Zuvalos has been invited, the star of The Stranded Warrior. Diana Durango is going to be on as well. And so there's going to be a few others. Battlestar Bulletin Board Sean, you're invited. I will send out a quick note to you on the side. So we'd like to have you come on. And it's a 4-hour marathon.
You said 12
trivia.
wrong.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I thought it
And
was 8.
we're going to do 4 hours. And
You said 12 wrong again.
Yes, Professor Patton helped us out with the trivia. Thank you, sir, for the trivia. We're going to be doing trivia that night, and with Eric Larson, of course, and we're going to have a good time. So please join us. We're going to screen the trailer. We're going to show it twice during that marathon, and let you guys have a peek at it. It's under 2 minutes. It's, I think, 1 minute 45, Chris.
Well, if you include the time in the front and the back, I think it's 2 minutes and 14 seconds, but I'm not counting.
So, yes. Since you put it together, right? Yeah. So guys, we're going to have a great show for the 17th. John, anything else that we haven't brought up that needs to be spoken about?
We saw a guy with a kid car with his old Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah,
he made it himself and had done. That was pretty cool. And also the auction. The auction was really good. We had a lot of money. And there was Battlestar Galactica would definitely made a big preference.
So in the auction, and the auction only is selling stuff for MSFM track, which is Battlestar Galactica and Stargate and
B5.
Firefly,
B5, those kind of things. So that auction raised $9,000.
Yes.
Just selling that those things that were donated, and then on top of that, they double that for the cancer, children's cancer.
Children's
so
cancer,
$18,000.
Yes.
We don't know the exact number yet, but that's roughly what we were estimating is what it was raised during that auction. So next year, if you got some stuff laying around the house that's related to some of those shows, let's get together and get that down there so they could make some money for the kids or whatever the charity is for next year.
By the way, Dave Turnbull tells us that this Sunday, 3 of us from the Stranded Warrior, Gary, Mike, and Dave, will be at RetroCon in warrior costumes. We'll be pushing the Stranded Warrior 2. Thank you very much, Dave.
RetroCon?
Where is RetroCon, Dave? Can you put that up real quick? And Mathew, Paul Cushman, Illustrator, thanks us. Thank you, sir, for coming on. It's Philly Expo Center. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. The Philly Expo Center. I've been to
it is okay. Oaks, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So, yes, Matt, thank you for coming on. You and your brother, very insightful. Really, really enjoyed. So thank you. But the auction that we attended, we'd put up a bunch of things. We actually had a set of the cards put into a Wonder Bread package, and we packed it up with patches. One of the patches from the Stranded Warrior,
3D printed coins.
Yeah, the coins, the Atlantia, a patch that I had made, and some coasters, and ribbon, and then we autographed it, and we packed it up, and we donated that for the auction, which was cool.
Yep.
that went for like, I think it went to for $150, which is very nice. And I don't know, there was other stuff. The J.J. Miller. So when we had actually gotten together for the convention that never happened, it was supposed to be the last reunion for the original the classic Battlestar Galactica actors. That was at AllCon. Chris and I had formed a committee, and or we're on a committee that was formed to help promote Battlestar Galactica, and we had made a bunch of requests, and we got donations for the charity that we were helping out, and it was the Richard Hatch pancreatic cancer, and so we Crop Circle had donated, and comic books were given to us from IDW, I think it was, and
Dynamite.
Dynamite. There we go. It was Dynamite and Eagle Moss, and they sent a whole bunch of things. And of course, since the convention, didn't happen, we then contacted the companies and told them that we were going to then donate this to Dragon Con and the Dragon Con charities, and they approved it. And so we took those graphic novels and we sent those that were done by J.J. Miller, and he autographed all of them and threw in some extra things and then sent them back to us. And then Chris took them to Dragon Con and gave them to them, and some of them were sold.
And there was so much stuff they carried it over for a couple of years. So
oh yeah. So
they didn't want to do it all in 1 year.
No, they didn't. Yes, and Chris Cushman also thanks us. Thank you for coming on the show. We loved it, and that's all thanks to John. John, thank you for setting that up. So if you are a retro,
Chris, thank you, Matt.
See me, stop me, and say hello. I will have my TSW cards on me. So yes, Dave has he made sure that he had made extra cards of his character. So if you're ever at one of the cons that he's at, he made sure that he got extra of these, and he gives these out to help promote the Stranded Warrior. So he,
that's a really cool pick.
Yeah. That's all. Thanks to John for taking the pictures that we're using on our cards. John took these pictures. So thanks again, John. And
my pleasure.
Yeah, so I mean, well, that's kind of where we're going for the 17th, right, Chris? I mean, that's our
but stay tuned. We'll let you know more about that as time comes on. We'll find we'll get the exact dates or get exact times. Right now we have the date. We're working on the time for that 12-hour marathon.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask you what a time was.
12 hours? No.
Yeah, it's from 6 to 10. We did a 6 hour, right? We did a 6 hour.
6 hour.
Yeah.
6
now
hours.
We're going back to 4, so we didn't go forward. So
went from you don't have time you can't handle 6, Chris.
Yeah.
You wish.
Yeah.
You wish. You're lucky we could do 4 hours. You can't handle 6. Anyway, so we're gonna have
some people
fun.
have to work. I have to live indoors and eat. So
yeah, that's right. So we're gonna have fun with the 4 hour on the 17th. It's a Friday night, guys. Eastern time, 6 to 10. We look forward to having you all with us. We're gonna do the trivia. It'll be just like we did at the convention and before. It'll be crowd per. So we'll put up a QR code and you'll scan it. And you'll be able to...
Everybody will be able to play online. So bring 2 devices, be on a computer and a cell phone at the same time.
And a cell phone.
Yep.
And this way we'll go over the leaderboard, right, John? We were doing, that's how we did the trivia stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun. And
yes.
Steven,
pardon me. 17th is a Sunday, yes.
Steven has retired his trophy, so he's won trivia I think
every
more
year.
than once. Yeah,
ever since we started it.
Yeah, he's going to start helping us with future trivia contests. He's going to come up with trivia questions. He's going to help us out. So thank you very, very much. So yeah, the 17th, guys, is Sunday. That's right.
Sunday.
Yep.
Sunday.
So we always
Thank
do
you very
17th
much.
because that's the, you know, when we started 3 years ago, it was the Thursday.
Oh.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's 3 years ago. So we always use the 17th because that was the broadcast date for Battlestar Galactica, was September 17th. So
Yes, that's right. So I stand corrected. I mentioned Friday, but it's not Friday.
It's
It's Sunday. And
Sunday.
it's the calendar is the same as the 1978. So it broadcast on Sunday,
Sunday.
and now we're doing it on Sunday as well. So that's pretty cool, isn't that? That's awesome. Just like in 78. Yeah.
And if you're lucky, maybe, you know, we'll get interrupted by President Carter's speech.
No. We're not, no, let's not get interrupted. No interruptions. We're gonna have a full lineup of guests, and we'll show the trailer, which is really cool. And
we'll probably
just looking
talk about the
forward to
trailer
it,
a little
man.
bit too, and maybe get some hints of what really is going to happen in the show.
Yes,
Maybe.
that's right.
Maybe you have to tune in and find out.
You're gonna tune in. Guys, yes, let's not see world peace break out to interrupt us like in 78. Oh, that's funny. That's funny, Professor Patton. And again, from me, thank you very much, everybody that came out to Dragon Con, right? All you guys meeting up with you was great.
Amazing.
Yeah, Chris, thank you for doing everything you did. You lugged equipment on your back the whole time we were there. We didn't get to use it as much as we usually do.
Yeah.
You
The
were,
rules.
we wouldn't be going to Dragon Con if it wasn't for you setting it up. So thank you, Chris. Thank you, Michaela and Kyle and John and everybody else for coming out.
Yep.
It was great meeting up with you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And then everybody that tunes in later, right? All you guys that watch this afterwards, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate you. You guys, I know, John, Chris, what do you got?
And the Daggett, we appreciate the Daggett.
The Daggett was, yes, the Daggett had to say a few words. John, what do you got?
It was great meeting Fran again. Lola, you were great. I really had a good time. I mean, it was
Her name
something.
was Lola.
Something I won't forget. So I told my nephew he might come in next year, and my wife probably. So I'm looking forward to next year. And it was very
Cool.
I enjoyed it.
Excellent. Chris?
It was great.
It's everything. Everybody said everything we need to kind of say. I wanted to say it was a blast, and we are looking forward to starting another year of every week broadcasting. So hang in there with us. We'll be constantly broadcasting and finding new stuff. And we have a really cool guest coming up that John was able to get a hold of. And all I will say is, if you haven't watched Silo yet, you need to.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Yeah, Silo, if you haven't read the books or actually watched the show, oh, my God. Hint, hint, hint.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I think Pete and I will both be fanboying on that one. So that's coming
hell
up.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Sure will. Guys.
All right. So
very much.
here's to everybody. So thank you, fans. And we love to say, fans fuel the fleet.
Hands fuel the
Here's to you.
fleet, guys.
Fans fuel the fleet.
See you next time.
Okay, guys.